to my channel. Today I wanted to show you guys the first amp I ever bought, and I think this is probably the best 10 watt practice amp that you can buy. This is the Stag 10GA. This is a 10 watt solid state combo amp. Solid state meaning it uses circuits instead of tubes, and combo meaning that the controls and the speaker are in one unit as opposed to like a Fender Bassman or really any number of other amps where the controls are on the head and then you have to attach them to a speaker cabinet. On the topic of speakers, this has one 6.5-inch speaker, so it's pretty on par with something like a Fender Frontman, which is Fender's version of the 10 watt amp, which has a 6-inch speaker, and the Vox, which is the Vox Pathfinder, that has a 6.5-inch speaker, so the same as this. Also, the price is pretty much on par with the Frontman or the Pathfinder, or really any other 10 watt practice amp. You can find them for about $100, which is pretty much the same as the Frontman, but I think something like the Vox Pathfinder might be $110, depending on where you look. This amp weighs 9.5 pounds, it's pretty light, pretty easy to carry around, it's pretty small too. It's made in mostly black plastic, and it's got a black mesh covering the speaker. It has one input for the guitar and one input for a CD or MP3 player so that you can play along. And it's got an output for headphones to practice quietly. It's got 2 channels, a clean and a dirty channel, which are controlled by the gray button. And when you're on the dirty channel, it's got a gain knob to control how much gain or distortion you have. It's also got a volume knob and 3 EQ knobs, treble, mid, and bass. The mid knob is pretty interesting because not a lot of other 10 watt practice amps have that mid knob in them. In fact, even my Fender Champion 50 doesn't have a mid knob, so it's pretty nice to get those extra tones in there. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this amp. I'll let you guys listen to some sounds from it, some tones, and I'll come back and tell you guys what I think about this amp. Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing some tones. I'm playing this through my Epiphone 335, which I'll probably do a video about sometime. And I'm just going clean through the amp, no effects or pedals or anything. And I am going through my Shure SM57 microphone right into Logic. So first I'm going to just play with all of the EQ knobs in the middle. Alright guys, so my final thoughts about this amp are that it's pretty good. Price wise, it's pretty cheap. It's about $100, which is good for a 10 watt amp. It's pretty much on par with like a Fender Frontman, the Vox Pathfinder. I think it's $110. And if you were looking for a Marshall or an Orange amp, I think those are a little more expensive. I don't know too much about those amps. But yeah, it's pretty cheap. If you can find one, I would definitely pick one up. I think sound wise, it's pretty good. It's very clear, which is kind of a problem with the Fender Frontman. It's a little muddy. But this one's pretty clear and pretty loud. It probably won't be loud enough for a live performance, maybe if you're in a smaller venue, but if you're in like an auditorium or a stage, this thing is probably going to be not loud enough. But just practicing and even recording, I think this thing is pretty loud. I really like the overdrive on this. It's less overdrive and more fuzz even at lower gains. I think that's a lot of fun. I do think it might get a little annoying, or it won't sound the best if you're trying to do like a low gain but kind of still have that little breakup there. But I think it's a lot of fun. I also really like the inclusion of the mid knob. I think it's nice to get those extra tones. I've also found this amp is really good for my acoustic electric, or if I'm playing like my keyboard or something, I will put it through this amp and I think it sounds pretty great. So yeah, if you guys are in the market for a 10 watt amp, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. You might like it. I think it's the best one that you can get. It's not too expensive and I think it sounds really great. So that's about all I have for you guys. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions or an opinion, or if you have any requests for other videos. I read every comment and I try to respond to any questions as best as I can. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good day.